Hi, this is Abul Hussain coming to you direct from London, the United Kingdom, and welcome to another episode of the SMMA Mastermind podcast, where we talk about how you can start or scale your digital marketing agency. And we also bring on subject matter experts to help upskill us with their wisdom so that we can deliver better results for our clients and also to grow our agencies. Now, if you are watching this episode outside of our Facebook group, make sure to find the link above or below this video, or go to smmamastermind.com, especially if you want to network with about 2,800 other like-minded individuals. Now, with that out of the way, I have a very special guest joining me from the Bay Area in California, and we are going to talk about his experience in generating insurance leads and also something called insurance funnels. Camille Bob III, welcome to the show.
Hi, Abul. Thank you so much for having me on. I really appreciate you doing this.
Thank you so much for joining me. Now, for the people who might not know who you are, how about a little bit of an introduction of how you got into marketing or doing digital marketing in the insurance space?
Perfect. So, hi again. I'm Cam, or some people know me as Camille, but I am the founder of Insurance Funnels. I've been doing this, kind of been in the space for about 5 years, but I got into it in a weird way. I actually am a finance guy at heart. I started out in that area, got my degree in finance, and originally found myself being in working on Wall Street. Actually, that was a big goal of mine. And after not exactly hitting that goal, I found myself sitting on the floor of my apartment reading books, and that's how I got into Google AdWords. I had seen a book by, he's a guru expert in AdWords. His name is Perry Marshall, and
Oh,
he
yes.
said, yes, I'm sure you're familiar. He talked about a money printing machine, something that you could put in $1 and get $6 back. And coming from the finance space, you know, we think a 20% return is incredible. So 600% seemed just out of this world. So naturally, that caused the curiosity, and you know, a few books later, I decided to give my hand at marketing, and here we are today. I'm all in.
No, that's absolutely awesome. And I love your story about trying to make it on Wall Street. I can see Stephen Covey's book, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, behind you there. So I can clearly see that you're into personal development and self-improvement. So obviously the insurance game itself, as you say, it's one of these places which are slightly drier. They have their own traditional way of doing things. How difficult was it to actually break into the insurance space with a digital marketing agency?
So great question. I actually, insurance found its way to me. I had started in just digital marketing as a whole, mainly focused on AdWords, and got to a place where I saw that, hey, you know, these people really aren't, there's a lot of trends that were happening at the time, and it was like, you know, we're all shifting towards digital marketing. People are going online, yet I found this industry of people, as again, coming from the financial space, coming from that background, so that they're not really wanting to, or they're more so reluctant to take on these technologies and to invest in, and it makes sense. You have a business model that's been working for hundreds and hundreds of years. Why fix what's not breaking? But at the same time, we saw the big brands. I failed to mention that I worked at Google for a little bit, and I saw the biggest brands in the space, your State Farms, your Progressives, your Geicos, spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month in different areas, up to millions of dollars a month in different areas, as well as new entrants into the market, what people like to call insurtechs coming about. And I thought, man, for the kind of local agent, the independent agency, they have a lot of competition. They have big, giant titans that they have to fight. And these are your agents these are people that are more foot on the ground. These people more so care about you because you can touch them, you can feel them more so than the giant corporation. So really wanted to just step in and be that value add, be someone who could help them compete and go out and battle against these giants.
Right. And you mentioned obviously back in the days of Google AdWords, you can put $1 in and $6 back. which I'm sure was the game a couple of years ago. Do you find that still to be the case today?
Well, so with COVID and with all of the kind of people jumping into the market, it's definitely difficult to maintain these massive return on investments in this space. It's still there. We're still able to do it. One big focus is having to step a little bit past Google AdWords and looking into more so the funnel to convert people, and then what we can do on the back end to maybe nurture the people who haven't converted, or what can we do to enhance our brand and get people to stay with us longer, or use clients that we've already attracted to find similar and like-minded clients for the agency at little to no cost. So it's a retention game. If we can get these people staying, if we can attract them at a profitable rate or break-even rate, and then if we can keep them staying longer and longer, obviously we significantly impact our profitability at any agency, no matter how small.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I'm guessing for the insurance brokers and the sellers of insurance policies, it's the same thing. They want people to be on auto renew, and that's where they'll make their margin in the long run, because I'm guessing an average relationship with an insurance company, is a couple of years at least. Most of us forget at the best of times to go out and shop again for another policy. Now, obviously, Google AdWords, different people have kind of different perspectives on that. To a lot of people, it's a sea of sameness, especially in kind of professional services. So, for example, people would think, well, I need insurance because it's a legal requirement, because it's not something that I would willfully pay for, right? And they want to kind of find the cheapest quote out there. So how do you, as kind of, a marketer, position an insurance brand when people are quite often looking to find just the cheapest quote?
That is an excellent question. That's something that my clients, we spend a lot of time doing on the front end, and that's where it all comes down to strategy as a part of the offering. If you were to go onto Google right now and look at the advertisements, they're more or less going to say the same thing. You hop on their websites, they're more or less going to say the same thing. So we take a lot of time, spend a lot of time in focusing on who is that ideal client that we want to work with, what do they look like, and then ultimately from there going into what is the value that we add relative to other agencies, and really focus and honing in on that. So for example, some agencies might have particular expertise in certain niches or areas. We really want to focus on the value that they bring. Maybe we want to highlight some wins that they've had, or some additional value added features that maybe the general run-of-the-mill agency or the big player doesn't have.
Right. Okay. Now that makes sense. And obviously that, looking at that, this is going beyond the digital marketing strategy. This is just looking at the firm itself and doing a bit of a SWOT analysis, I suppose, and kind of how they can stand out. Now, a lot of people ask me this: do you need to have a landing page if you're running a Google Ads campaign? Can you not just kind of send someone to a generic looking page or your home page and expect to convert as well off the back of your brand?
Well, people do that. I wouldn't advise it. It's estimated, I believe Search Engine Journal says this, that about 61% of digital ad budgets are being wasted. And that's going to be a primary factor in you wasting your budget, is not having that tailored landing page. And the reason why is because not only does Google care about giving their searchers, their users, the best possible search experience, but today we have a picky consumer who expects things to be personalized, who expects things to be tailored and fit for them. So we ultimately want our clients to jump on a page that's relevant to their exact needs at that exact point in time, so that they feel like they're getting a better online experience that's seamless and easy to do business with.
Mm-hmm. And your agency, do you also do paid social advertising across Facebook, Instagram, or anything like that?
Great question. At the beginning, that was something that I kind of sort of dabbled in, but definitely have steered clear away from those kind of networks just because of the nature of the market. And that's, again, we're insurance. We're in a place that people they don't want to be interrupted while scrolling their Instagram or their Facebook
The
to
cat
see it.
videos.
Yeah, the cat video is always gonna come above the or have precedence over the insurance ads. So with Google, we're able to find people when they're ready to buy and when they are when they're in the market. So that's why we've stuck to that place, because again, a lot of my clients and a lot of people in this space, they get a lot of tire kickers. They get people that they might have expressed interest, but they weren't exactly ready to buy. And that's the general difference.
Yes, I mean, and this really comes back to the point of how the market has evolved, especially search advertising over the last couple of years, where a lot of people are becoming smarter now. They need to embrace digital, where previously you could have spent $1 for a click. You're paying $10 for a click now. How do you mitigate against all of that? What kind of a budget does someone actually need to effectively advertise on Google these days? Is it something that has to be ridiculously high that kind of excludes the smaller mom and pop shops in the insurance space? Or, what's the competition like these days in the search auctions?
Yeah, it's definitely going to require something substantial in terms of, if we're talking for an agency that's got a team that they have to feed. Yeah, we're going to need them to spend more than $3,000 a month or so on Google advertisements directly, because yes, we are in insurance, and it's an expensive space to play around in. This does not mean that you can't. I have worked with clients in the past that spent 1,800 to generate leads, but again, you just have to have the proper expectations. And touching back on your original point of keyword cost, yeah, it's insurance. So some clicks can get
It's
up
going to
to
be high.
$100, $80. I've seen in the legal space, clicks can be up to $600, $700, which is
Wow.
absolutely outrageous. But that's a monster click cost. But ultimately, it's a balancing act between going after obviously the more valuable keywords that are more relevant. But at the same time, we don't want to be cheap. We don't want to only focus on keyword cost or click cost at the expense of going after kind of the cheaper keywords or the lesser placements, maybe at the bottom of the page or just on the second page. So we definitely want to balance that out and keep a eagle eye over what we're spending at all times. And ultimately, if it converts, it's turning into new business, makes sense.
Right. So someone who might be who might be in the insurance market, and they're kind of, keen on advertising on Google Ads. Once you factor in your Google Ads cost and your agency's management fee, how much is a typical lead cost to the business owner?
So if we look at it, where we want to be in terms of client acquisition costs, I want to stay in that $300 to $400 range on average. A lot of studies have shown that the average independent agent is going to spend upwards of $600 on that. So keeping them and maintaining them as a customer is first and foremost in order to drive that cost down and kind of ease it over the course of time. I've seen conversions go as low as $40 on consistently, but obviously over the years it's increased a little bit from there. But it ultimately varies. If we have if we're going after certain markets like maybe home insurance, auto insurance, things like that, it's obviously cheaper than something that's more high value than like a key man or workers' comp, something like that.
Right. And one of the key issues we have in the UK, because I actually, back in my agency days when I used to work in an actual agency, insurance was one of the areas that, I was running campaigns for. And the biggest concern we had in the UK was there are so many of these comparison engines where people go in and it spits out 3, 4, 5, 10, 12 quotes. I don't know if you have the same issue in the US, and how does kind of, that impact on performance for you guys, or are you kind of able to navigate away from competing directly with those kind of comparison websites?
Yes, that's definitely something that we have to consider, because a lot of people coming online are going to want to be quoted online, and they are wanting to not really deal with a person. That's where we have to highlight and really separate ourselves in the advertising that we do, saying that, hey, we're the people, or we're looking for people that want to speak with an expert. We're looking for people that want an actual agent, that want expertise in the service that they're being given, and to not be, we're looking for people that have more reasons to care about their insurance policy. And the good thing about that is that that typically comes with a higher value client, someone who they understand that their situation is a little bit different. Maybe they're not the 16-year-old
They don't
or
want to be caught
18-year-old.
out by the fine print, right? So you might get a policy that's a couple of $100, but the fine print means you don't get paid out anything.
Yeah. So people who have a little bit more to lose, and a little bit more reason to be concerned with the actual details of their policies and the risks, and the coverages, and et cetera.
So tell us a little bit about insurance funnels. What is that all about?
So insurance funnels, we have basically a 5-step process for helping our agencies to generate and attract the exact types of people that they want to work with. First, starts off with strategy. This is basically aligning digital marketing with their overall business objectives, the area that they want to move, where they want to grow in, and the spaces that they want to grow in. So typically, in this part, we're uncovering the fact that, hey, they want to open up a new office, or hey, their carrier is saying that they need to go after this type of business. That's where we can really put a plan together on AdWords, in which we move to the next piece, and it's the attraction piece. It's how do we go out and find these exact people that we want to work with through Google? So that's setting up the AdWords campaign and going after certain keywords, certain subsets, markets. Then from there, like you mentioned, the landing page and conversion piece. How do we indoctrinate these markets into the value that we bring, so that they're convinced to convert, and convinced to reach out, that they're convinced that we're the expert, that we're the agency that they want to work with, so they come pre-framed, ready to buy. And then from there, the final pieces, one is on nurturing. So either nurturing the relationships that we generate, or nurturing the relationships that we lose out on. How can we get back in front of these people, or the people that we've converted? How can we get them to either leave a referral, or go on our Google My Business and leave us a review, so that we can find other people? And the last piece is maximizing the ad budget. So consistently improving results, staying on top of the changes. That's the optimization piece, where it's the dynamic space. We are going to have new competitors enter. We're going to have things change within the business. So how do we continually drive the results that we're bringing, the value that we add, and how do we continually squeeze more from the ad budgets that we have set for it?
Right. Now, someone who might be watching this and they're considering to obviously start advertising online, one of the key concerns they might have is, well, how long does this take to see any results? So, I mean, what's your typical kind of time frame to actually show your clients this stuff works?
Awesome. Yeah, the good thing about this, and the good thing about being focused on solely insurance, is that we have the model dialed in pretty good. So I've seen agencies literally start generating results the exact day that we turn on the campaign. So it's like that. It takes, well, also we've gotten it down so well that what used to take a month, 2 months to start working and start and to put together, now can take us a week, 2 weeks to build out everything that's necessary, and to get this client up and running, so that they can move closer to their goals and get what they want from us.
And so, Cam, someone who might want to get in touch with you, where's the best place for them to find you?
Oh, best place to find me is my LinkedIn account. We can probably get you a link for that. Otherwise, I can always be reached by way of email, cam@insuranceagencyfunnels.com, and that's insagencyfunnels.com. So,
Awesome.
but LinkedIn is best.
LinkedIn is the best place to find you. So if you're an insurance agency or you want to kind of dabble a little bit in digital marketing, don't go out and waste your money on $100 kicks. Give Cam a call, and I'm sure he'll do an excellent job for you. On that note, Cam, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you as well, Abul. I really appreciate this, and this was an excellent interview. Thank you.
Thank you.